Okay,
Okay, what?
we're recording.
Oh, is this the bit where we where I pretend to not know we're recording?
Yeah.
I can always tell by your smile. He does. You guys can't see this. He does a little grin. He's grinning. Oh no. I can't smile very big because I have like a sore thing. I don't know.
Oh, yeah?
It's on, the top lip
Uh-huh.
where there's that little connector thing
Yeah.
at the very top. It's on that.
Yeah, I had a zit
How
there.
messed up is that?
Yeah.
It's like a
Just the other
tiny
day.
little sore.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. It's messed up. So I can't like smile very big. So like laughing kind of hurts. Anyway, welcome to the Brothers Game podcast, I guess.
What?
This is the timer. I'm just using this
Oh,
as
nice.
the timer.
Your new Zelda game.
My
and
brand
Watch.
new Legend of Zelda Game and Watch. This thing is very cool, honestly.
I feel like
Look,
my mic's
when
gain is even lower than it used to be.
Look, when it's on, the Triforce in the bag lights up a little bit.
Oh, that's cool.
How cool is that? Like the polish on these things is awesome. I have the Super Mario Bros. One too.
Uh-huh.
I hope they make 10 of these in
Yeah.
different games. I will buy every single one of them. I love dumb collectible stuff like this. And it's got the Nintendo polish, very
Yeah.
much so. And this one, unlike the Mario Bros. One, it comes in like its own display box. It's like a nice little black box with a back kickstand. That's what it is.
Yeah.
A little stand on the back so you can display it. Super, super nice. So I might be playing this while we're recording. It's 1:03. We've been recording for 1 minute.
What?
Yeah, cool, huh?
I also have a timer.
It's 1:04 now.
It's been almost 2 minutes.
Well, no, it's 1:04 now. I know.
Yeah.
I'm also drinking an insanely hot coffee. I microwaved it for too long.
Ah.
I used to not be a microwave coffee guy
Uh-huh.
because there was like a thing. People said it like changed the molecular structure of the coffee
Uh-huh.
and it made it weird.
Yeah.
Completely untrue. Not true at all. Very stupid.
Yeah.
It just makes it hot.
Now, some people will put like a tea bag in cold water and then microwave that.
They are psychopaths.
Yeah.
They are probably murderers, I'm going
Right.
to assume.
Yeah, so to clarify, he is simply reheating coffee
Just
that was
reheating coffee.
was once hot.
Was once hot. I'm not a psycho. Yeah. So just know if you're listening and you microwave a tea bag,
There are better ways.
delete the podcast and stop listening, please. So
No,
That's-
keep listening.
Well, keep listening, please.
Just stop being a psychopath.
yeah, maybe get some therapy. Sponsored by BetterHelp. You can go to not true at all.
No, we're not.
I wish. So don't go there until they pay us.
Don't give them free advertising.
Yeah, you're right. I will advertise Pete's Coffee though. Delicious. And Nintendo. We do that a lot. It just started raining.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I
And
just heard,
technically, this window is open because there's an air
It's true.
conditioner in it. So,
yeah,
yeah.
in the middle of November, there's an air conditioner in it
Yeah.
because you never take them out.
Well, it's because it's too big of a pain
It's
to
true.
do it every 6
You're just
months.
gonna have to put it back in.
We just leave it in there and just turn it. Don't run it on cool. Just run it on the fan only. And, yeah.
Do you like this light banter part of the podcast we're doing?
I mean, that's part of what we do anyway. So it's nothing.
I just
new.
laughed
It's
at it
nothing
hurt.
new.
I just laughed at it hurt. Dang it.
Speaking of new things that we got,
What else
video
did we-
game
what did we
related,
get?
I
remember.
got
What did you
Age of Empires 4.
Did you not talk about that yet?
No.
Oh my gosh, has it been that long since we
Yes,
recorded?
yes, it has. Anyway, so I finally bought Age of Empires 4. I was actually pretty hyped for it, and then I played it.
What was keyword?
Yes,
Keyword
was keyword. I played it. It was just really boring.
That's messed up.
It had none. So like, I used to just play every RTS I could get, and I kind of liked them all.
That was your thing for a while, especially.
Yeah,
back
and
in
I
the
have
day.
several. But Age of Empires 4 doesn't really have any of the things I like about Age of Empires 2, except that it's a strategy game that takes place in the Middle Ages.
Dang,
That's basically it.
it's rough.
They've added so many things that are like cool in theory, like on paper, like, oh, those are cool ideas that you guys implemented, but playing the game is not fun. So
That sucks.
and that's kind of the most important thing.
Seriously.
Yeah. Also, because of
I
my
totally get that.
low-end GT 1030 video card, I have to run it on low settings, which makes it look like Warcraft 3
Yeah,
graphics.
I bet the highest settings on modern tech is really nice looking.
I did
I'm
briefly
pretty
look
sure.
at it at medium settings. Also, the cinematics look like modern cinematics.
Yeah,
Those are
that's
still
nice, at least.
nice, even at my low settings. But yeah, the in-game graphics are terrible if you have a low-end video card.
So just
which,
but content wise, there's not enough new stuff to really care.
yeah, I mean, there's you can play as like the Normans and play through the Norman conquest of England, which is one of my favorite parts of history. I think it's a very fascinating part of
So
history.
like you're the Green Goblin,
No.
Norman. That's
Yeah.
his name.
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
Yeah. Or William the Conqueror conquering England. But yeah. Yeah. So that was a letdown, unfortunately, and not necessarily through any fault of the creator. It's just not my kind of game.
it's not your thing, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, how many hours did you put in?
A couple.
Yeah,
Like
and you probably won't
maybe
put in
3
anymore.
or 4 hours.
I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
Not gonna really put in anymore.
Probably not. I might try to finish the Norman campaign, but like I don't know. It's just not been very fun.
That sucks. Well, what are you gonna do? You know.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, new games. I haven't played a new game in a while that really excited me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to the extent that like Breath of the Wild did or something. Like, I'm pretty excited about Radiant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty excited about that. That's coming out next week. It's very soon. But like the new WarioWare was good, and like I definitely played it, but also like wasn't super exciting. And like I'm trying to have fun playing video games,
Yeah.
and it's not as fun as you want it to be.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking about just replaying Breath of the Wild again because
Yeah.
that's the last game I can think of that amazed me
Yeah.
and
no,
got me
it's-
really excited to play it again.
This is why I so often just replay games that I've already played because like I know it's going to be good. I was reading so James Portnow, he was the writer for Extra Credits for a long time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I've watched that channel
The good-
for many years.
Era of extra credits, pretty much.
Yeah. And I mean it's not bad now. It's just kind of gotten a little stale. That's why I'm not really subscribed anymore. But he was talking about games that are like difficult but don't necessarily require a lot of mental energy, and other games that might require a lot of mental energy but aren't necessarily difficult. It was like, so let's say
Interesting.
you're someone who has played and beaten Dark Souls
Yes.
several times.
Right.
And maybe you're
Big
not
deal.
maybe you're
Little
not
bit.
like a speedrunner or anything. Maybe you're not like an uber great Dark Souls player, but you're very familiar with the game at least.
Which is
And
a big part of it.
yeah.
For sure.
It's like that can take a lot less mental energy than playing a new game that is not as difficult.
Yeah. Because you're just familiar.
And so
Yeah.
if you're like totally mentally exhausted and you just want to play a video game,
you can play Dark Souls.
you can if you're someone who's like really familiar with a game like Dark Souls,
Yeah.
you can probably sit there and play it and it won't take a lot of mental energy. Even
Yeah,
if it's
I actually
challenging,
totally get that.
even if you're like messing up more than you might normally, like it's not necessarily going to be that mentally
Because you're not really
stimulating.
figuring out anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get
But
that.
whereas like a new JRPG or something might
Yeah.
actually be, especially
take
because you're
some
like
mental-
trying to keep up with the story and the characters and
So
the
even if it
lore
is
of the game
compelling-
and stuff. Yeah.
Takes effort.
Yeah.
I think that's why I haven't started Persona 5 yet.
Uh-huh.
Because Persona especially takes
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
a lot of effort, like mental effort, because it's got a very good story. It's got in-depth gameplay in two completely different styles of gameplay.
Right, because of like the
social aspect and then the RPG, dungeon crawl aspect, and which are both completely different and both very deep, like typically.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I'm not mentally prepared to start a Persona game.
Yeah. Well,
it's
and
crazy.
something that I never used to think about or worry about when I was a kid that I have to think about now is how much time can I commit to
Yes.
this game over the next like 3 months?
Exactly. And
Will
I mean,
I
for
be
us,
able to drop 80 hours in all in like one big chunk, or is it going to be really spread out? And if it's going to be really spread out, I'm not sure I want to start a new JRPG.
that's what it's the hard thing with something like again Persona 5. Whereas the new Pokemon Pearl's coming out, I've played Pokemon.
Right.
I know it's just another Pokemon game. So
Yeah.
even though it's new and has some exciting new stuff, it's not as mentally involved.
Yeah.
And I can play it for an hour and then put it down and do important stuff.
Because I've realized that if I set a game down for a month and come back to it, I probably won't remember what on
Seriously.
earth what was going on.
Yeah, there's like the first meme I saw of that was Gandalf saying, "I have no memory of this place."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
exactly true.
Yeah.
No idea what I was doing here. Yeah. Especially in a JRPG where you look at like your build, you look at your equipment and stuff. You're like, I don't even know
like,
what this is.
And in a good JRPG, you generally care about the story. At least I do, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
And
It's
so
part of the reason to
I-
play
and-
JRPGs.
Yeah. And so if I'm playing and I'm just like, I don't remember this character. I don't remember why they're here.
It's like books too. I
Yeah,
have that same problem
exactly.
with novels. Like I read like a third of this massive high fantasy book called The Priory of the Orange Tree. Very good book, great characters, but I've put it down for so long that I know I'm going to have to like skim every part I've read to even
Yeah.
remember who the characters are and stuff. I hate that. And it keeps you from going back to it, It's-
Right.
yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Yeah. Because, we're just busy with, it's middle of November. It's the holidays.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, that on top of our normal work and stuff, it's like life gets in the way of this entertainment stuff. And we have to record a podcast.
Yeah.
Our dying fans need the podcast.
This is for the fans.
This is for the fans. Thank you to all the fans.
But actually, for
Keep
real,
on
thank
down.
you. So.
Keep on downloading.
Yes.
Means a lot for real. Follow us on Twitter too. Hey, plug the Twitter, the Brothers G Pod on Twitter. Hey, come say hi. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So before we move on to what you want to talk about, I have information. Dun dun dun.
What?
Brian, did you know that today, as of recording this, it is the somethingth anniversary, 20th, I think, of Halo Combat Evolved?
Oh gosh, it is already. Holy.
Can you believe that? So today, Xbox had some announcements. Dun dun dun. As we know, Halo Infinite is coming out soon.
Right.
And it looks very good. Well, the multiplayer beta just dropped to everyone
Oh,
today
nice.
for free.
Nice.
You can just play it. If you have an Xbox or a PC, I think, you can play the Halo Infinite multiplayer right now.
Nice.
Huge, cool. Everyone's freaking out. That's all people are streaming right now is Halo. And they also announced a partnership with Paramount Plus, the streaming service, and creating Halo the series.
Oh.
There's just
Second attempt at Halo Legends.
well, no, this is like an actual series by them, basically. And it looks the trailer is basically John putting the armor on,
Oh.
and it just looks like a Halo cutscene, basically,
Nice.
like that sort of style. And so yeah, but that's interesting. It's just called Halo, just straight up.
Nice.
Anyway, cool,
Very cool.
possibly really cool. We'll see.
Yeah.
So far, I've only heard good things about Infinite, so
Yeah.
I do want to play that.
I hope it's
when that comes
good
out.
because like I've mentioned when I talked about it on a few episodes back.
Like everyone says, Halo
yeah.
5 was pretty disappointing in general.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Halo, it's the holidays, Brian.
Right. So it's almost time for our annual Halo playthrough.
Halo play. We should definitely do more than one day, I feel like, this time.
Yeah.
One day wasn't enough time to play Halo. Because I want to do multiplayer online if we can and campaign.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to do campaign wise? Let's decide it on the podcast.
Well, okay. So we usually do Halo 2 because that's our favorite.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
We've done that a few times.
Although for multiplayer, I really like Halo 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can do we know we can both do heroic even individually, let alone together. And that when we try legendary,
Legendary,
it's a real
Insane.
grind fest. So we could try a different campaign than what we normally do. Maybe
It would be fun to do Halo 3 Lasso. I think that'd
We
be
could, I
think
guess.
that'd be
Yeah.
really fun.
uh-huh.
Just because I think it's entertaining.
We could also do
that's for
Halo
sure.
1 anniversary.
We could. Halo 1 is good.
Yeah. It can be a little grueling getting through the library, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legendary, especially.
Yeah, especially.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
That'd
could
be-
try it.
Be rough, but we could try it. So, yeah, let's do.
Rocket Flood.
We should do maybe 1 or 3 just to do something different.
Yeah.
We've played Halo 2 a million times.
It's funny, sometimes I'll play through the Halo 3 campaign and I'm like, I didn't remember this was a thing in the campaign.
I like
I've only
Halo 3
actually
campaign,
beaten the campaign start to finish like twice.
I like
so,
Halo 3 though.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
I feel like I spent so much time in the grave mine trying to get Cortana back that like I kind of forgot about the rest of the game.
The Cortana level sucks.
Yeah.
I don't like that level at all. But there's some good ones in there. The Storm is cool. Some of the other ones. Good vehicle stuff.
Yeah. Well, the missions on Earth are actually pretty fun, I think.
Yeah, I like the ground missions. And the last mission is great. The
Yeah.
Halo. We got the snowy flood
Yeah.
at the beginning, and then the warthog at the end is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
I love playing through that. I like games with a good last bit like that. Like
Yeah.
that's a really good one.
I like it when you look forward to the end
Yeah,
of the game.
and I know like that was one of my favorite things about Modern Warfare is the airplane level at the end of the game.
Okay, yeah.
It's like you're going through an airplane and you're just like
I never got
blowing
very
through
far in
everybody.
the campaign of
it's
Modern
an
Warfare.
awesome
so,
level. It
yeah.
is just a very solid. It's very small, very particular. You know exactly where the enemies pop up, but it's really hard at the same time, especially on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah.
Great level. So
Cool.
It's like renowned. Like everyone
Yeah.
loves that level.
Well, and Modern Warfare is like still like one of the most beloved.
It's the only one I
COD
really
games.
liked, even.
So,
So,
yeah.
and I'm not a COD fan. So
Yeah.
I'm not a codfish either.
I forgot.
I'm a codfish.
Yeah.
Shmee.
Okay. So
Moving on.
You know how I'm always looking for more challenging Pokemon.
What, Brian? What's Pokemon?
It's a game I apparently can't get enough of. So, I do have the stuff to play Pokemon Blue Kaizo, which I anticipate is going to be horrific. But before that, I played through Pokemon Red Plus Plus. Now, I first played this game probably in version 1 or 2, like 8 or 9 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And
I forgot you did that.
yeah, our friend Kyle got me into that, as well as Pokemon Red and Blue DX.
That one I've heard of. That's
Yeah.
pretty popular.
And so Red Plus Plus is an attempt to do a bunch of bug fixes, add some stuff from the later games, and make the game more difficult.
Yeah, from what you've told me, there's an insane amount of like
Uh-huh.
coding that went into this.
Yeah,
Like,
like I have the
took a
the
lot of
list
effort.
here of all the changes that were made, but like just a crap ton of bug fixes.
well, feel free to go through a lot of them. I'd love to
I'm
hear
I'm gonna
the more technical stuff.
Yeah,
a little
I'm gonna
bit.
focus mainly on the stuff that actually made a direct impact on my playing and
Okay.
the things I noticed right away. Because there's a lot of stuff under the hood that I probably didn't even notice.
Hmm.
But so it has Gen 2 aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
Now, also, this is like at least one full version later than when I played it the first time. Playing through this time, I can tell there's been quite a lot of work since the first time I played. Because the first time I played, I was like, okay, this has some cool features. They've gotten rid of a lot of bugs, and they've made it more difficult. But when I say more difficult, I mean they made everything high. They raised the levels
Raised
of
the
everything
levels.
and made it so you had to grind more. The difficulty curve is very good. I was very impressed
Just
by the
good.
difficulty
Just
curve.
like
yes,
a good
this
ratio.
time, like
Clearly, this person has played Pokemon.
Yes. And so, like, I've often
I'm going to
talked
draw
about-
attention to the fact you just punched your microphone as hard as humanly possible.
I
You
was
threw
just
it into
moving my
next
hand
week.
through the air and
Yeah,
just
and
flicked my
destroyed it. Anyway,
my pop filter.
anyway, continue.
rip my mic.
Rip.
So
I hope you could hear that.
I've talked about for months, probably years, about making a ROM hack, and like I wanted to change just a few small things, like the level of Brock's Pokemon,
Yes.
and a few things like that, because I feel like some of the fights in the game are too easy, and I don't like how flat the level curve gets once you get through Rock Tunnel, and a few things like that. But I would say that the way that was handled in this ROM hack was very good.
Nice.
But anyway, so yeah, Gen 2 aesthetics, Gen 2 sprites, including the much better back sprites from Gen 2
Insanely better.
compared to the Gen 1 back sprites.
Definitely.
I did notice some like Gen 3 sprites that were like imported and just like Gen 2ized. I don't know how you would explain it. Because
So were they Gen 3 sprites?
yes, I looked them up on
Okay.
Bulbapedia. I looked at the sprites and they looked almost identical. So
Okay.
and even some of the NPCs had Gen 3 sprites. It was interesting. But I think
They may have been not in Gen 2.
yeah.
So.
But overall, the most of the aesthetics are Gen 2.
Did they add later trainers like Ace Trainers, Hex Maniacs, stuff like that?
Some of them, yeah.
That's cool.
Like there is Hex Maniacs. There are
She's one of the most popular ones,
yeah.
so that makes sense.
and all the trainers have names. So
Oh, nice. So
like Youngster Joey and
little
stuff
stuff like that. Is Youngster Joey in it?
I think there's a youngster named Joey. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's good. He likes shorts.
yes, they're comfy and easy to wear.
Mm-hmm.
There's also some of the dialogue has been updated on some of them.
Oh, good.
So like there's a last that says I like skirts. They're comfy and easy to wear.
Sweet.
So yeah, there were. I remember Misty's dialogue. It was like trainers have to have a policy about Pokemon, although I guess it doesn't actually matter or something like that. It was
Nice.
So, your inventory is expanded from I think 50 to like 70 items or something like that. So you have a lot more room in there. I think there are day and night cycles. Honestly, I played like pretty much entirely during the day, so I don't remember. Just playing your Game and Watch. No
I'm
big
playing
deal.
Game & Watch Merman on The Legend of Zelda. Mm-hmm. Don't mind me. Continue.
Oh, okay. So,
The most simple game
yeah.
in existence.
So I noticed right away that the levels of Pokemon in like Viridian Forest were higher. The levels of the trainers were a bit higher, not like way higher, but a noticeable amount. And I got to Brock, and Brock did, I think, take 2 attempts to beat. 'Cause he had a Omastar, a Kabutops, and I think an
Dang.
Aerodactyl.
That's cool. All like the fossil ones.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, let me pull up my notes
Did
here.
he have a Vulpix? That would have been cool.
No.
Just because the anime.
Yeah. The fight against Gary west of Viridian, that's usually the first difficult
Yeah,
fight in the game
for sure.
anyway, and it was in this as well. The last bug catcher in Viridian Forest had a level 13 Butterfree. That was
13.
challenging.
Yeah, that's high.
Oh, right. Okay. Brock took 3 tries. I have that in my notes. And yeah, all his Pokemon were the fossil Pokemon. Kabutops learns Absorb, a grass type move. That is pretty deadly against your Squirtle.
Against Squirtle, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But thankfully, Kabutops and
That's great. He had like a counter to the water
yeah,
starter.
Kabutops and Omastar have are rock water, so they're weak to electric. So my Pikachu was able to take them down.
Oh, nice.
Actually, same with Aerodactyl, rock flying. So yeah.
Right, because rock isn't resistant to electric, is it?
Nope, not
I
at
feel
all.
like it should be.
Which is something. It's a common misconception, especially because in the anime they said rock instead of ground was immune to
Oh,
electric.
really? Oh,
yeah.
that's interesting.
So that was a real source of confusion for a long time. The only reason Pokemon like Onix and Geodude are immune to electric type attacks is because of the
They're
ground,
also ground, yeah.
secondary type.
Dude, this game gets hard. Holy crap. But I nailed it. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, this is really fun for being from, the 80s. Anyway, continue.
80s games were fun.
It's true.
Then I got to Route 3, and the Pokemon were about level 15, which is, again, that's a pretty significant jump up. That's like 5 or 6 levels higher than they typically are.
For
I
sure,
think,
yeah.
normally. In Mount Moon, there was this area called Mount Moon Square where you could, it was a special bonus area just added to this ROM hack. You can go there and buy moonstones.
Oh, that's nice. So you can evolve more stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. At the end, you get both fossils. You don't have to pick one.
Oh, that's nice. So this was kind of meant to really be able to get the whole Pokedex, probably.
Yeah, I think so. So I got to Cerulean. Cerulean is, and I've said this plenty of times before, Cerulean has historically been the most difficult part of the whole game.
Definitely.
And this ROM hack was no exception.
No exception. Heck
So
yeah.
I go up to fight my rival on Nugget Bridge, and he had a level 21 Jolteon that wiped my entire team. So I was like, well, not doing that yet.
That's awesome.
So I went and fought Misty's gym, and they were pushovers because I had a Pikachu. And then I
Wait, so you beat Misty before Nugget
No,
Bridge?
sorry.
Okay.
Well, no, I did, but I'll go
Wow.
into that in a second. But
That blows my mind. I never do that.
The regular gym trainers in the gym were really easy.
Oh, okay.
But Misty was hard.
Good.
Her
She should
whole
be.
team was about level 25 or so.
Okay.
And so I did what I do against the Elite Four. I just fought her and then used her Pokemon to level me up.
Yeah. That's a great way to level up.
My first couple of attempts, I was able to take out a couple of her Pokemon right away.
Okay.
So I was doing all right.
Wait, what Pokemon did she have? Did you mention?
I didn't write down her whole team, but it was stuff like she had a Vaporeon.
Good.
She
That's
had a
awesome.
Starmie. She had
course,
a
yeah.
Dugong, I think.
Nice.
And
All Pokemon I think of when I think of Misty.
yeah.
For sure.
Oh, and her last Pokemon was a Lapras.
Tough.
It was basically like fighting a slightly lower level
It was
Lorelei
Lorelei, basically. Yeah.
at the third gym.
That's cool. Dude, Lapras is tough.
Also, on my first attempt, my Pikachu, so in the middle of my second attempt, my Pikachu had gone up 2 levels since the first time I fought her, and I actually did worse on my second try than the first
really?
try. There was a bit of luck involved.
Sure, of course.
But so I just fought her until my Pokemon were high enough level that I could beat her. Basically, until my Pikachu was high enough to solo her whole team. Mm-hmm. So as a consequence of that, every fight afterward was really easy.
Oh no.
Like
Misty was so hard,
yeah, because of Misty, my team leveled up so much that it was just as I said a few podcast episodes ago, a breeze walk.
A breeze walk. Ah, yes.
Which, if that wasn't a real term before, it is now. So anyway,
That's a Brothers Game classic right there.
It took me 9 attempts to defeat Misty,
Dang.
and
That's
my Pikachu was
absurd.
level 31 when I beat her.
Oh no.
So
I lost.
wah.
I got my top score on Game & Watch Vermin is 377,
Okay.
just so you know.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Me
so
either.
Anyway.
But it was fun. Anyway.
So Nugget Bridge and routes 24 and 25 were super easy after that.
So I mean that's sort of like the regular game. After
Kinda, yeah.
Misty, stuff's pretty easy.
But like the rival is usually a lot easier than Misty, so I usually fight the
Right.
rival before her.
Yeah, I usually do Rival, Nugget Bridge, and all those trainers up there
Yeah.
before Misty. So
What I usually do is I fight the 2 gym members in Misty's gym first. I go to Cerulean.
Oh, okay.
I fight those 2 because they're usually really easy.
Yeah.
They have only water types. Pikachu destroys them.
Yes.
And then I do Nugget Bridge, all of 24 and 25, and then I go back and beat Misty, is usually what I do. This
Gotcha.
time I beat Misty first because of that level 21 Jolteon. Because I couldn't just like sit
You
there
don't
and
have a ground
grind
type.
up against it because I
Right.
didn't have any Pokemon that were resistant to it. I will say this ROM hack is almost certainly much easier if you Bulbasaur start.
Oh, okay.
Just the types that I want that you wind up fighting against would be way easier. With
Does he have a
Bulbasaur, probably.
Jolteon if you have Bulbasaur though?
Maybe
you start
not.
Bulbasaur?
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna guess he doesn't.
Yeah, probably
Because-
not. He might have a Flareon.
Because
I don't
in
know.
yellow, blue
Right.
has an Eevee and it changes depending on
Yeah.
certain things.
Yeah,
so.
but like it has to do with wins and losses and has
Yeah,
nothing to do with
yeah.
your starters.
But knowing this
Well,
ROM hack,
your-
I bet they're smart
Yeah.
and chose the one that's best against your starter.
Yeah.
So he may have had a Flareon instead.
So I think they thought about things like you getting a big level bump or something like that, because there are periodic, just huge level increases of all enemy Pokemon once you get to a certain area,
Okay.
it seems. So like I got to when I fought the rival on SSN, his Pokemon were about level 33.
Dang. Yeah.
So that's well more than 10
Way
levels
higher.
above his Nugget Bridge team.
Way higher than the base game.
So I did what I normally do when I go to fight Lieutenant Surge, and I caught a Diglett to use against his team, and it was effective just like before, although I didn't have quite the level advantage I usually do.
Yeah.
And I didn't just easily one-shot his
one-shot
entire
everything
team.
and-
But his gym did only take 2 attempts.
Nice. Because I mean, Diglett still destroys electric types. I mean, it's
Yeah.
yeah. So what is your team so far? Do you remember?
So at this point, I was really trying to keep just 3 Pokemon. So I had
Wartortle, obviously.
Wartortle, Pikachu, Spearow.
Okay.
Which is which is a very,
Very
standard
basic
team
for you,
me.
yeah.
Very typical
normal.
for me. So I left Diglett in the box for most of the game until I reached a certain point where I realized I was not going to be able to complete it without Diglett. So I got him out. He was a Dugtrio by then, but
course, yeah.
I got him out, and he was like a good 10 to 15 levels below the rest of
Yeah.
my team. So I worked on getting him up to be with the rest of them, because I knew with the 4 of them I could handle the Elite Four.
Okay.
Also, EXP share.
Oh yeah.
So the way EXP share works in this game is, I believe, the way it works in Gen 6.
Oh,
and that is
fantastic.
There is no penalty for increasing the number of Pokemon that
They all
compete
get, like,
in a battle.
basically full
And in
XP.
fact, the more you can have in one battle, the better, because you get this. So if you fight a Pokemon and let's say it gives you 2,000 EXP, if you just do a one-on-one, well, if you switch Pokemon, both Pokemon get the full amount.
Yeah.
If you switch again, all 3 get the full amount.
Very
so
nice.
you want, anytime possible, you want your entire team to fight. Mm-hmm.
Totally.
And against each Pokemon. So I did that a ton. I just would switch out Pokemon
Switch.
constantly to give
Nice.
them as much EXP as possible.
Hey, it works.
So I abused the hell out of that.
Nice.
Enemy Pokemon were... I didn't specify whether this was enemy Pokemon or my Pokemon. I'm guessing this was the enemy Pokemon that I was coming up against. But between like route... I'm going to say between Rock Tunnel and Celadon Gym, the Pokemon were like level 36-ish.
Hi.
And then her gym members had like Pokemon in the low 40s, I think. Erica's team was around level 45.
It's like Vileplume.
Yeah.
It's like 45.
I believe Erica only took me 1 attempt because she's always the easiest.
Still Erica. Yeah.
Still a total pushover. Giovanni, I think, was the first one to have a team of 6.
Oh,
And
cool.
his team was all in the high 40s.
why
This
wouldn't
is
he,
in
right?
Rocket Hideout.
Yeah.
He had a Nidoqueen with Thunderbolt. That was tough
nice.
because Wartortle was who I was using, or Blastoise probably by now, against his Nidoqueen. So that was a nice surprise. The number of Pokemon with electric type attacks is much higher than I was used to. And so Squirtle was not as broken as he normally
As
is.
normal. Yeah.
Because I had to be on the lookout for Pokemon that would know an electric type move when they normally might not. The movesets are not exactly any one gen. They're closest to Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Okay.
That's
Good movesets.
That's what they're based on, but they aren't exactly that. Like for instance,
So they just kind of did their own thing.
yeah. Like for
That's
instance,
cool.
Raichu doesn't. I don't believe Raichu learns any moves. Like Pikachu learns all of his moves, and then you evolve him into Raichu, and then after that, he doesn't learn any new moves, and that isn't true in this ROM hack. So I think he just has a custom move set.
Interesting.
The Rockets in Lavender Tower were the first NPCs to have level 50 Pokemon.
Nice. Dang.
My team was about level 50 when I started Cycling Road. Now, here's the thing.
That's unheard of.
In the original game,
Yeah.
the Pokemon in Silphco, on Cycling Road, and on the other route to Fuchsia are all roughly the same levels.
Yes. Yeah.
That is not the case in this ROM hack, and I didn't know that.
Oh.
So I went to Cycling Road first because I usually do.
And it's the hardest one.
Yeah, it is.
Did the bikers have like level 60 Pokemon?
No, not quite, but
Okay.
they were like upper, mid to high 50s.
Okay.
So it was tough.
Intense. Yeah.
So in this ROM hack, it is very clear that you do Silphco first.
Okay.
Silphco levels are much lower.
That's interesting. I usually do Silpco first. So
And I usually do Silphco last,
Oh,
interestingly
interesting.
enough.
Interesting,
I
yeah.
usually do Cycling Road first, and then I do the other route to Fuchsia.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I go back and forth with those two, and then I do Silphco last
Yeah.
out of those three.
I actually usually do Silpco, then Cycling Road, and then last do the other weird route.
Yeah.
Because I don't like that route very much.
Well, and as a
usually
kid,
go
I
last.
almost always skipped that way,
Hmm.
and just did Cycling Road because it was faster.
Mm-hmm.
But once I started playing the game without cheats, I started just fighting every trainer in the game so that I would be somewhat close to high enough a level against the Elite 4. Thankfully, this was not a Nuzlocke playthrough because I would have died very early.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, could you imagine doing Nuzlocke on this game? That sounds
So much grinding.
horrible.
Self-destruct and explosions suck because you don't
man.
get any EXP for fighting those Pokemon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Is that normal?
Well, that's not true. If your Pokemon faints, you don't get any EXP because a fainted Pokemon doesn't gain EXP. So,
Okay.
But if you switched out before they fainted, then one of the Pokemon of yours that didn't faint will get EXP. But yeah. Explosion and self-destruct at the levels that I was fighting against were so powerful that I almost never survived it, so I never got EXP for that. And I think Cycling Road is when I finally decided I needed my Doug Trio because of all the electric and steel types that I kept coming across, like Magneton. Because since this incorporates stuff from newer gens, there's dark and steel type.
Of course, yeah.
And I think Fairy, too, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. It's
Yeah.
like Jigglypuff's fairy, probably.
Oh, yeah. So Silphco and the other Fuchsia path were level 45, but Cycling Road was 50. So
Gotcha.
I was over-leveled for Silphco and the other route and under-leveled for Cycling Road.
But hopefully Silphco more prepared
yeah.
you for, Cycling Road. So.
Yeah. Your rival in Silphco has his levels are about 52.
Okay.
Sabrina's Pokemon are in the mid 50s. Koga's are in the high 50s to low 60s. So that's another one. It was always a little unclear whether you were supposed to fight Sabrina or Koga first
Right.
in the original games.
Totally, yeah.
Because like when you look at the badge numbers, when you like look up your character, I think Koga comes after Sabrina, but I don't know if it was in the player's guide or there was a reason why it looked like you were supposed to fight Koga first, and so it was always a little unclear which one is canonically the first.
Think
to
you'd fight Koga first too?
Yeah.
But
And also their levels are almost the same.
Yeah.
In the original game.
it seems like you see Koga's gym first, so I just assume he would be next.
Yeah.
But
Well, you can get to Sabrina's gym as soon as you beat Silphco.
yeah.
So yeah, but I like that in this ROM hack they made it clear that no, you fight Sabrina first and then Koga
Okay, cool.
if you're going by levels. When I started Route 19, okay, so you know how when you surf to Cinnabar, you can either surf south from Pallet Town or surf south from Fuchsia City, either way. So when I started fighting all the trainers in the water, my team
The
was
worst
about
part.
level 61.
Okay.
So at this point, Blastoise, Fearow, Raichu, and Doug Trio all about level 61.
Tough team. Yeah.
Yeah. Blaine's team was in the mid 60s.
Was he tough, or did Blastoise pretty much
No,
destroy him?
at this point, I was pretty much steamrolling.
Okay.
I think the last gym leader that took multiple attempts was actually probably Surge.
Nice.
And then, so I get to the Elite Four.
Oh, Giovanni was no problem.
I didn't write down his team, so it must not have been anything
Nothing special?
Special, yeah. He was also a total pushover.
Yeah.
The Elite Four were all in the upper. Well, everybody before Lance was in the upper 70s.
Okay. Dang.
They were tough, but it actually only took me one attempt.
Oh, nice.
To beat the Elite
Just went
Four.
through.
Yep.
So like Agatha had Gengars, I'm sure, and like
Yep.
Yeah.
Mischievous. So a lot
Nice.
of a lot of the channelers had Mischievous, and actually I think they were Hex Maniacs mostly, not channelers. And then Agatha had a Miss Magius.
oh really?
Yeah.
That's a Gen 4 Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned Miss Magius is one of my favorite Pokemon. Period. It's in my top 6. It's in my 6 perfect team.
Yeah.
So very excited to have her in Pearl, by the way, in the Pearl remakes. But
Lance's Pokemon were in the low 80s.
my gosh,
Yeah. And so so did the rival.
like how was his level 80 Dragonite? Was that tough? Like, or did you have an ice move for?
I think I did have to like revive my Blastoise because
Yeah.
he got taken out, but then I was able to just hit him with
Just like Ice Beam?
and take
Yeah.
him out. So
All right. As I mean, the problem with Dragonite, it is 4 times weak to ice.
Right,
So I mean, one ice
exactly.
beam will usually take him out.
yeah,
Unfortunately,
and thankfully I was able to
though it's such a strong
use basically
Pokemon.
the same strats as I do in the regular game.
Just-
It's just that
just brute force with
Yeah.
power moves. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the way to go, pretty much. When you're not being competitive, it's just
yeah.
it works.
So a couple of other
Before you get to
things of note.
Yeah.
I kept fighting Raichus and Machamps that knew double team, and that was
Was that super annoying?
it was so annoying. And dude, it
That's awesome.
it made the fights challenging because if you can't hit your opponent, then you can't do anything.
and they still hit you.
Uh-huh.
So
And you can negate that by switching them out.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, in Gen 1, there's not a lot of moves that force the enemy Pokemon to switch.
right, you got like roar and stuff. Maybe,
Yeah.
But
And I don't think those even work in trainer battles in Gen 1.
in Gen 1, yeah, probably
Things like
not.
Roar and Whirlwind.
Okay.
And if they only have one Pokemon, then you can't make that
Yeah.
switch out. So, yeah.
Dang.
A lot of NPCs only had one Pokemon.
Okay. I guess that's
And I
true
feel
of-
like the later the game got, the more likely that was to happen. Which I feel like in just regular Gen 1, the higher you go, like the more likely you are to find
Yeah.
like teams of 4 or more.
for sure.
But yeah, in this one, a lot of trainers that only had one Pokemon on their
That was
team.
probably to not give you as much XP.
That's my guess too.
Yeah, I bet you were getting too much XP otherwise.
Yeah, and it is
which makes sense.
It is
you got to balance that.
yeah, it is like a difficult needle to thread, or
Yeah.
however you want to say that. It's
A
like
needle to thread. Yeah, totally makes sense. I'm always jabbing needles through threads. What was your other term? We'll put that with the other term you used. Gonna go down a rabbit trail.
by the way,
Bunny journey. What did
by the way,
President
we
say?
have a subreddit now, so
Oh,
feel free to make
yeah.
fun of us on our subreddit.
What is it exactly?
This is
r/the
Brothers Game podcast, I believe.
So just r/Brothers Game Podcast.
Yeah,
Hey, so if you're one of our 10 fans, post
Yeah.
on our subreddit. That'd be awesome.
yeah.
We
if you
should
want-
post on there.
Oh yeah, we will.
I should post on there.
Yeah, you should join. I can
I
make you a
have
moderator.
a Reddit account.
Yeah,
I don't go on there very much.
yeah. Anyway,
You can talk about how much you love our amazing podcast.
yeah, and you can make fun of me for my various phrases that
You can make
that I am absolutely certain normal people say
nice
sometimes.
lists of normal things Brian says. Very cool. Very cool.
Anyway, it's a fine line between like
You got to needle that thread. Man.
making fights hard and also not giving the player too much EXP.
Yes. I'm sure that's one of the harder balances.
Because
this kind of
like
thing.
if I fight an NPC who's got
I mean, I'm sure you could change the values and like just make them give you less XP.
oh yeah, I guess that's
But-
true. But like if you fight a trainer that has 6 Pokemon and they're
You're getting some EXP.
fairly easy,
Yeah.
then you can
And they're
get a
fully
ton of-
evolved
yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, and they're not like Pokemon that give like a really low yield like Magikarp.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you fight
It's like
someone with
chances.
6 chances,
Yeah,
oh, you'd
exactly.
get so much experience. Yeah.
That'd be great to make like a secret room
Uh-huh.
where there's like a secret trainer that's just like, and he's called like EXP Bro or something.
Yeah.
And he just has like a team of 6 level 50 chances
Yeah.
that only know like, you know,
Like soft boiled.
soft boiled or, well, that'd be annoying. No.
Oh, well,
Make them know like something really useless.
yeah. Well, I mean, you throw a Hitmonlee in there with high jump kick, you'll just
Sure.
one shot the
Yeah.
whole
You'll
group.
be okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, how was Gary? Was he hard?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, that's messed up.
Unfortunately, I didn't write much down about
should have been.
the fight, but I vaguely
About the
remember,
last fight in the game? Weird.
Yeah.
The most
Whatever.
important battle?
I'm not very good at taking notes. Okay, I never was. That's why I didn't do good in school.
You should talk about your college experience someday in the podcast.
Oh man.
The reason I didn't go to college partly
yeah.
was why you
With
did.
my experience in college.
Anyway.
yeah. But so it was a fairly typical team for your rival to have. So like he had a Venusaur was his last Pokemon. He had
Mm-hmm.
an Alakazam. He had a Rhyperior. So not a Rhydon, but a Rhyperior.
Nice. So there's some Gen 4 Pokemon in here.
I think he had a Pidgeot, which is weird because he didn't for most of the game. For most of the game, he had Jolteon.
Interesting.
I don't think he had Jolteon in the last fight. I don't remember very well, actually. And I think
Weird.
so. I think he had one of like he had a water, a fire, and a grass, like your rival does. But I think he doubled up. Like I think he had a Executor and a Venusaur, if I remember right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happens.
I thought maybe his Alakazam would be a real threat, but I was able to one-shot it. So
It's pretty
yeah.
it's pretty squishy.
Doug
so
Trio with Earthquake is a pretty
it's tough.
strong
Yeah.
hitting. So
Definitely.
like
Definitely.
you send him out, and he's fast too. So he actually, if he's a high enough level, he can go first.
Right, Doug Trio's fast.
And so if you can get in and get that Earthquake done before
They're done.
I
yeah.
don't think I one-shot him, but I was so close. And then he used
Like
Healing
Kinesis or
Light,
something?
the move Healing Light.
Oh,
A
yeah.
surprising number of Pokemon had Healing Light, and that made some fights a little more annoying than
Gotcha.
they might have had. That might have been. Yeah. But I was able, I think, like, he used that move, and then I hit him again, and then he died because Healing Light didn't fully heal him, so I was able to just two-shot him.
I didn't really touch healing moves very often,
Mm-hmm.
but playing Pokemon White, I had a Pidove, who I love Unpheasant, my favorite bird type.
Mm-hmm.
And it learns Roost.
Yeah, Roost.
And it is amazing. I am unkillable in that game.
Yeah.
With my Tranquil or whatever it's called. Yeah. I'm like unkillable. It's
I
awesome.
was introduced to the concept of, I don't remember if I mentioned on this before, but there was a guy who came up with supposedly like the ultimate Pokemon Showdown team for balanced Hackmon.
Okay.
And he was number one for a while.
So you knew what he was talking about. Yeah.
in the like rank in the ladder, and he introduced me to the concept of having a tank that you switch out to that just has a lot of health, a lot of defense and special defense, and then and possibly a healing move as well. So like he had a Lugia with Roost, and he would switch out to the Lugia and had leftovers. as his held item.
Nice.
So yeah,
Lugia was thick.
he's like, oh, you're gonna hit me with a move that would totally one shot my sweeper. Okay, that's fine. I'll switch out to Lugia. Oh, you barely hit him, and he's back to full health. Sorry.
Destroyed.
Yeah, he had that and a Giratina normal form, which is like or
Altered form?
altered form, the one with legs, not the
Normal,
floaty
I think.
ghosty.
I think that's
one.
normal.
I don't remember. Anyway,
I think so. I think altered is the floaty one.
Yeah, and
I don't know Gen 4 very well, though.
super tanky, like one of the tankiest Pokemon
Okay.
in out of any of them.
I know
so.
Giratina's good. I just don't know anything about him really.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
And so, yeah, healing moves are effective on tanks because it's like, oh, not only are they a damage sponge, but you can also heal to make it even more tedious. And then if you've thrown like poison and stuff at them, then they're
yeah. Every time I have a Vaporeon, I always give it leftovers because I just love how unkillable it is.
yeah. I've still never really done a playthrough with just like purposefully tanky as possible Pokemon, and
Yeah.
I think that would be fun to do because I'm all
I always
about,
have a tanky,
I've always done a sweeper
Vaporeon.
team. Always done a sweeper team.
Yeah. Final thoughts maybe on.
Yeah, so to wrap up about post game stuff, went and got Mewtwo. Nothing special about it. He's still only level 70, so that was all normal.
He should have been 100. That'd
Yeah,
be cool.
I went and caught Zapdos. Took 2 Ultra Balls is all.
Nice. Heck yeah.
So that was awesome. I was
always
prepared for him to.
It's always like 2 or 50.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I only had like I think 3 Ultra Balls total anyway, so I was prepared to just take him out and just move on. I wasn't like, oh man, I better catch this Zapdos. I was like, if I kill him instead of catch him, whatever, no big deal. And I caught him. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I think my team was in the upper 70s at the end, 78 ish.
Nice.
Yeah. Closing thoughts. Very much enjoyed this. I highly recommend it if you're looking for a Pokemon Red or Blue ROM that is more challenging, but still pretty true to the original. I mean, it does have some Gen 3 stuff and stuff like that. So, like, I don't know if I don't necessarily love that, but I don't really have a problem with it either.
I like that
As much-
personally because
as
I
much
like
as-
later Pokemon.
Yeah,
So.
because, but it's always like, where do you draw the line? And I feel like if you put too many new Pokemon, it stops to really being a Gen 1 playthrough anymore. But I absolutely love like the new mechanics and some of
Yeah.
the quality of life improvements. Oh, you get running shoes,
Oh, good. Huge.
which was nice because I was playing in Gambat instead of Visual Boy Advance, so
no
I didn't have the
turbo?
space bar to turbo. There might be a way to do it in Gambat.
I'm sure
I didn't
there
even
is.
look into it. I was like, I'm just gonna play this at normal speed for
Yeah.
once instead of
Yeah.
just mashing the space bar for every.
Yeah, when you do that, even
Time
though
I
it feels
can.
convenient, you feel less involved.
Yeah,
Like
it kind
you
of
feel
takes
less
away.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something to the slowness for sure.
It also took me probably 14-ish hours to complete because I had to do a lot more grinding than I usually do. Normally,
Right. You never do
Pokemon takes
grinding,
me
pretty
at
much.
most about 10 hours.
Yeah,
to
you
beat.
never grind pretty much. Yeah. That's interesting. But good.
Yeah,
That's good to hear.
It was great.
Yeah, I
will-
haven't gotten into
probably-
ROM hacks at all, but there's a lot of good ones I've heard of.
Yeah,
Like I might check out Unbound.
yeah.
I've heard that one's
That's
very
a
good.
common, popular one.
I've heard
Yeah.
that's very good.
My only critique when it comes to the level curve is I thought Misty was actually too. Her levels were too high,
Yeah.
and
just a bit
because
too
of
hard.
that, and like at least in the position I was in, like I had to. She was going to be an easier fight than my rival because of even though her Pokemon were higher leveled,
Yeah.
because they were water types. I could do that. Whereas against
The rival
Ares
should be the hardest.
electric,
period, pretty much,
his
right?
Jolteon, like I didn't have anything I could counter that with
Yeah.
really.
So it's partly your team, but also
Yeah, but also like if
what's the alternative?
yeah, I didn't really have much of an alternative because
No ground types then.
If I had caught
up till then.
if I had caught a Butterfree, it wouldn't have really helped because
flying.
Yeah, maybe a Nidoran or maybe a Mankey. I think
Yeah.
you can catch a Mankey.
You
in
could
this
have
one.
had a Nido King or Queen by then.
Yeah,
So
And of course, Nidoking is the way to is easy mode for
Yes.
Red and Blue.
period. Yeah.
Like it's already an easy game. If you want it to be super easy, catch a Nidoking.
Yeah.
Because you can get a
Seriously.
Nidoran, get him to level 18, I think it is for Nidorino,
Something like that.
and then
yeah.
Moonstone. As soon as you get to Mount Moon, you
So
find the
early.
Moonstone.
You could have
boom.
Nidoking so early.
Nidoking
It's
level
crazy.
18 and just
Crazy.
steamroll the rest of the game. Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah.
Which is why he's how you beat with speedrunners.
Mm-hmm.
And Nidoqueen is almost as good. It's like at least 80%.
I typically
as
go
good.
with Nidoqueen just to be different.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, yeah.
And Nidoqueen was one of my
Still very
MVPs in my first like real Nuzlocke playthrough.
Mm. Nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
But yeah,
Is that it for your Pokemon stuff?
I think so.
Because I have a couple more things before we end off here. I know we're nearing the end, I believe,
Yeah.
but I wanted to talk about some N64 stuff
Okay.
because I don't think I really mentioned it on the podcast. I may have mentioned it a little bit last time. The
Yeah.
disappointment in the
Yeah.
virtual N64 Nintendo Switch Online stuff
Mm-hmm.
and how people basically just hate it in every way.
Yeah.
Like price wise, I think I talked about the price, but now they're finding ridiculous bugs and just bad optimization and like wrong textures and stuff. And
Wow.
like N64 looks better than the Switch version, basically.
Wow.
Like it's kind of sad. They've said they are like doing something about it. Like
Yeah.
Nintendo has said, we're looking at feedback, we're taking it seriously or whatever. They said something like that,
That's good.
which is cool. I'm basically waiting when they release the update that fixes some bugs and adds Paper Mario. I will absolutely buy
Yeah.
the expansion. But until then, I'm not going to buy it.
And you did get the Switch
Got
N64
the N64 controller. I don't know how much I talked about it on this. I think I may have mentioned it last episode, but I have to say all the reviews say the same thing. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It is very well made, feels good, works really well. Buttons feel good. You can play it with basically any game, which is really cool.
That's good.
You can
Cool.
basically just use it as a pro controller. The only issue is that you can't map the buttons really,
Right.
which kind of sucks because like I can't play Animal Crossing with it because I don't think there's an X and Y button basically, which is super important
Yeah.
just to a Switch
It's
controller.
unfortunate that you can't just map it to the C
I
buttons.
know. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
So that's kind of rough because I'd love to play like Breath of the Wild with an N64 controller. I think
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
That'd be fun.
But like, I have the Mario 3D All Stars,
right.
and there's Mario 64 in that, and you can use the GameCube controller, which is nice.
GameCube. You mean
The GameCube. I was thinking of Sunshine. That's why
Yeah.
the N64 controller. I want to try Sunshine with the N64.
Oh, yeah,
controller,
that'd be interesting.
just to see what that would be like. So yeah, I'm really excited for when Paper Mario finally comes out for that. And they've tons of rumors are still saying that there's probably Game Boy games also coming
Oh, cool.
to Switch Online, which would be really nice. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. It's cool that the Switch is slowly becoming the only console you need.
I mean that's what it should be. Like they need to hurry up and make it that.
But like that was never a thing before.
Yeah.
Like
It is sort of becoming the ultimate Nintendo console, which is pretty cool.
cuz like I remember when the Xbox came out they were like, hey, you can also use it as a DVD player. And
Yeah.
then when the Xbox 360 and PS3 came out, they were like, hey, you don't need to have a separate DVD player. You don't need a separate music player or whatever. You can just do all of your media from this one device.
That's a good idea.
Very few people actually used it that way, but some people did.
Yeah,
and
it's a great idea.
Some people even are like, to this day, they're like, oh, my Xbox One is my media center. And like, that's how I watch
'Cause it
movies.
works.
It's how I play games. It's how I listen to music. And like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
And
They even just added. Speaking of that kind of thing, there's a Twitch app on the Switch now.
oh yeah,
You can watch Twitch
Nice.
live streams and stuff. And
But-
apparently it works pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
So,
but I
that's cool.
really like how the Switch is becoming the only game console you
yeah.
need.
Yeah.
Whereas those
they're
are
getting a lot of ports, too.
trying to become like the ultimate media center. The Switch is just becoming the ultimate
Games.
game console, and that's
Like
cool.
even, Kingdom Hearts is finally coming
yeah.
soon. It is like unfortunately they're like streamed basically.
Yeah.
They're like cloud versions of the game. So I think you have to be connected to the internet to play it. But
So my thing about
That
that
sucks.
is I like the two extremes. I like either owning a physical copy
Mm-hmm.
or paying for a service where I just like I pay a monthly fee and I listen or watch as much as I want.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't like and don't think I will ever be okay
half
with
and half,
is
basically.
the half and half thing where you're paying for a subscription. You also pay for the individual. You may or may not be paying for a subscription, but you pay for the individual downloads with DRM that they can invalidate anytime they want.
Crazy. Yeah. I absolutely
I will
hate that.
never be okay with that. I've only bought like 2 things on iTunes ever and lost both of them.
Gosh, yeah. iTunes is a nightmare.
So I'm not going to
a
ever buy something through iTunes or Amazon Prime or anything like that I can't keep free of DRM,
Mm-hmm.
free of the service. Like if that service dies, I want to still have the copy. But then I also have a Spotify subscription where I don't own any of the music.
Great. You're just
And
borrowing their
if I
music.
ever stop paying for it, I lose or I at least lose access to the ad-free version.
Yeah.
I mean, I can still listen
But
to it even without
That's great.
with ads.
Like,
But yeah,
I'm okay. I'm totally happy with that. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. Yeah, that is the annoying thing. I think Square said we're open to the idea of full ports. That's not off the table completely.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Kingdom Hearts wise, obviously, I would love to have all the Kingdom Hearts on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
That would basically make it the ultimate console to me.
yeah,
But I don't know. We'll just have to see. I think. The only other thing I wanted to mention is the Animal Crossing update did come out. I have not missed a day of Animal Crossing since.
yeah,
Most people agree this is finally officially the best Animal Crossing. You can do so much in this game now.
yeah.
I mean, they added farming and cooking even. Like it has everything you could want, I feel like. Very cool. Absolutely love it.
So everybody missing Stardew Valley, you no longer have to.
You're good. You're good. You got Animal Crossing now.
yeah,
Very cool, I think. So
yeah.
it's
Right.
actually it sucks. I'm gonna have to like really balance Animal Crossing and Pokemon Pearl when it comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's gonna be a tough balance because yeah. Anyway.
I did just start finally playing Tales of Symphonia.
Yeah, you mentioned that. That's cool.
Yeah, so it's one of the only like JRPGs that feels a lot like standard turn-based JRPGs, but it's not turn-based.
Oh, okay.
It's in
I don't really know how the battle system
yeah.
works in that
So
game,
like
so-
basically, like when you play as the as Lloyd, the fighter character,
yeah.
he
Is that the main red-haired guy?
yep.
Okay.
He well, I think it's black hair with a red jacket, but anyway.
Oh,
he,
I've seen him a lot. I don't know.
He has a sword as his main weapon, and
Your anime sword guy?
yeah, and so you just button mash to use his attacks, and
Alright.
then you've also so like it's not unlike Super Smash Bros. Attacks, really.
Okay.
Like there's
Because it's like button combination.
yeah, there's
and
A
stuff?
without a direction, there's side A, there's up
Oh,
A,
interesting.
there's and then like you did
That's different than RPGs
yeah.
usually. So.
Then you gain different abilities that you can use. So there's like B, side B, down B, up B, and sometimes you can have ranged attacks or so like I have a couple of magical ranged attacks that use
it's like brown hair.
TP instead of HP. Oh yeah.
He's like spiky brown hair. That's right. Okay. Sorry. I had to look it up.
But yeah, so and I think magic is called like Tex or something like in PSO a little bit.
Cool.
I don't know. It's but your mana bar is TP instead of HP or
Okay.
MP or anything like that.
Is that what it looks like?
Yes,
Okay.
and I'm playing it on GameCube.
So that's the original, right? Or at least in America.
I'm not sure.
I feel like
it's
it
one
is.
of the first. If
Yeah.
if it isn't the first, it's one.
I
of
have
the
the
earliest
I have
ones.
it, but I have the 3DS port.
Oh,
of it,
okay.
which I've heard is really good. Actually, that's why I bought it.
Hmm.
So I do actually want to try that.
Yeah.
So
I've been very interested in getting into the Tales of series.
I mean, yeah, I've heard
the
very good things.
The first
so.
time I heard of it was a friend of mine in high school was playing Tales of Pirates, which was an MMO RPG, I think, of Tales of.
Interesting.
And then I think the newest one is Tales of Arise. Mm-hmm.
I know-
Heard really
I-
good things about that one.
I heard people loved what's it called? It has like a Z in it. Zestiria.
Zestiria.
Yeah, people like that a lot.
So that one's a controversial one. Some people like it, some people don't like it. I watched the
I've heard
anime
really good
of
things.
it, which was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think Vesperia is like one of the most popular ones. I consistently saw people rating it as number one or in the top three at least when I was looking into the game because I was curious which game I should play first and which ones people liked the best.
Okay.
Berseria is very well liked as well.
Oh, okay.
It's apparently it's a bit different. It's not necessarily the standard Tales of game, but that one's also well liked. Zestiria is there's mixed reviews. A lot of people
Okay.
don't like it. So yeah,
I was also really curious about the Dragon Quest games.
Yeah.
Because that's just an RPG series I have literally never touched.
Uh-huh.
I know very little about it.
and Akira Toriyama does the art, so
Yes,
it looks
the
very
Dragon Ball
games.
So I heard that 8 was actually one of the best ones to start with. It's a
Okay,
very good one,
yeah.
and it's a fine one to start with. So I was thinking about doing that, and there's a 3DS version of that.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
I might look into getting that.
Also, I'd love to play Legend of Dragoon someday. That's
Oh yeah,
that's a old classic in the same era as FF7 and
yeah. I have that with Secret of Mana or something like that.
oh, okay, yeah, I think
Yeah.
Secret or Secrets of Mana.
Yeah,
but
Secrets of Mana. I think never played that. Also, I've heard
Yeah.
very good. So
Xen-
and there's Golden Sun. Like there's so
Yeah.
many RPGs. that-
Xenosaga and Xenoblade.
yes, Xenoblade. Never played Xenoblade.
Yeah.
I have the first Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah.
People love it. Shulk,
Yeah.
I'm really feeling it.
Yeah.
Never played it. There's just too many
You've
good.
never felt it.
I've never felt it, Mr. Krabs. Art thou feeling it
Yeah.
now, Mr. Krabs? I've never played so many of these amazing I'm doing air quotes RPG series.
Yeah.
There's just too many. Like it's crazy.
JRPGs make up a sizable chunk of my
Yeah.
backlog. So I
'Cause they
actually
are good, and I do actually
I
like
actually
them.
have
but
one stack now of just all the games that I physically own that I'm like
I have a ton too. Yeah.
that I'm calling my backlog, and it's got like
But I also want to play, Dark Souls, and I want to play Skyrim. Guess what? I've never played Skyrim
oh
ever, and I love open world fantasy games.
it's just weird to me that it's still popular
Yeah.
because I played it almost 10 years ago.
to play. It hurts.
And like I felt like
Like,
I
I
did
know I would
everything
love
you
it.
can really
I
do
know I
in
would
the
love it.
game. And yeah,
Because I love those kind of games.
I will say I liked the world design a lot.
I love
I
love
liked the look
Fable.
and feel
I love
of the
Breath of
game
the
a lot.
Wild. I love just those kind of games, So
and there are parts of the game I really liked, but also it kind of got boring and repetitive after a while.
yeah, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
one of these days,
Yeah.
I'll get into it.
Yeah. I have I have I have a bunch of Borderlands games. I think I have all of them.
Oh yeah, I've never played Borderlands 3 either.
Yeah. Which I hear is not worth it, but I want to play it anyway.
I mean, I heard it's fine.
I have
I mean, 2 is gonna always be.
I have the
best,
first
but-
3 Mass Effect games. I have
Oh,
Fallout
yeah.
3.
I want to play BioShock too.
Yeah, I have BioShock as
my
well.
God.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh god.
All of the From Software games, basically. Dark Souls, Bloodborne.
I want to play more Resident Evil too. I have
Oh yeah.
I have a lot of those, and I've played some. Played Resident Evil 1. I played 4. I played, but I've never played RE2, and people say that's like the best one.
Yeah.
I'm just like, ugh, dude, it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
And on that note,
Anyway, there's 1,000 video games we have to play
yep.
and haven't. So there you go. And that's the Brothers Game Podcast.
Yep.
That just means we have a lot of content in the
That's
future.
right.
So that's just future content for our lovely podcast and our lovely listeners. Hey, if you're one of those, why don't you download the podcast so that we get analytics and stuff, and follow us on Twitter at the Brothers G Pod, and go check out our amazing new subreddit with no posts on it
Yeah.
at r/Brothers Game
There will be
Podcast.
posts by the time this episode goes up.
Ooh,
That
that's
is a promise.
and that's a promise. That's the Brothers G promise.
Yeah, especially because I'll have a month to do it. So
Yeah.
I
So
better.
surely there will be a post. on
Surely.
that. Anyway, guys, seriously, thank you for listening.
Thank you.
If you're listening, and if you're hearing this, well, then you're listening. So thank you.
Funny how that works.
Crazy, Brian. Any final thoughts?
Nope.
Great. And with that, goodbye. It is 2:22. We've done good. Can you hear the beeps?